Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. My name is Liz and I'm a part-time reseller in Maryland. For some time now, my friends and some subscribers have been asking me for a best of video. But ironically, my best of items are the ones that I didn't even know were there. So stay tuned for my favorite hidden treasures. Okay. So yes, you guys know I buy on instinct and I like to buy things that I'm drawn to, even if I can't explain why. I'm not suggesting that I somehow knew that there were hidden treasures in these things, but I am suggesting buy on instinct because it might pay off more than you expect. For example, I recently bought a Monopoly game, and I have to say many Monopoly games, the vintage ones, are not worth a lot. When I was organizing the cards, however, for resale, I found this mixed into the cards. This is a 1949 baseball card, right? Gil Hodges, he was a rookie. Now this is not mint condition, but I'll show you some comps for what this would go for. It just happened to be mixed in with the Monopoly pieces. I think I sold the Monopoly game itself for between $30 and $60. And this is worth probably a couple hundred. It might be a little more or a little bit less. I haven't had it graded or anything like that, but still, that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, I was sort of kicking myself for buying a Monopoly game because it doesn't really have that much value unless they're really special or great condition. I bought another board game. This was actually in Maryland, in Westminster, at the estate of the former Coca-Cola family, if you will. I think they sold the company, I want to say in the 70s, but I'm not 100% sure. There was actually, I guess, a bottling company there. And you've probably seen one of my Coca-Cola signs that was similar to what they would have all around that house. He said when they were kids, they used them as sleds. I'll insert a photo of one of those. Amazing. I think they call them button signs that this guy said they used as sleds. Anyway, I bought this board game, which is priced crazy in my Etsy shop because I can't find another one like it. And there was a stack of scrap paper, it looked like, and they had used it to calculate points or tally whatever, bills, I don't know. And they were these flyers from the 60s for this Hi-Fi Club talent search that was associated with Coca-Cola. And I believe I've sold one or two of these for $75 each. And honestly, I don't even know if that's too cheap. The Coca-Cola collectors really love their stuff, especially rare stuff. And there are people who just collect for the Hi-Fi Club. Now you can see this one still has pencil written on it. I want to erase that and either keep this for myself because we like Coca-Cola stuff too, or something. I'm not sure. And there's one underneath it that has a corner torn off. I don't know what, some need to clean their teeth or something. I don't know. But anyway, those were just mixed in with the scrap paper. And so I think I made $150 on scrap paper inside a board game, which hasn't sold yet. I bought another Monopoly game. You'd think I would learn my lesson, but how can I learn my lesson when I found this last time? So I bought another Monopoly game and I was kind of kicking myself because I'm like, I know these don't sell that great and they take a while. But inside the Monopoly game, maybe for safekeeping, was this memorial ribbon, I believe from the 1880s, commemorating the passing of President Harrison. I'm not a history expert, by the way, so if I mix up some details, I apologize. But long story short, these are relatively rare and very collectible, and I'll put up a comp for what this could sell for. Okay, at least twice, I have bought boxes of sewing notions, and I have found gold jewelry in them. I don't know why people are putting their gold jewelry in their sewing box. I couldn't tell you. It's not like they're putting a ton of it, but I found a ring once, and I think Black Hills gold. I'll try to insert a picture. It's like tri-colored gold, which is really beautiful. A ring one time, maybe she took it off when she was sewing. I don't know why this bar type brooch would be in there. It is stamped 9 carat. Oops, sorry, I don't know why my phone's doing that. It's got these little seed pearls. It's I think maybe a dragonfly. And that's worth several $100s. I did not know it was there. I didn't know that any of these things were there. but I sure am glad that I found out they were there. I'm going to go over here to this small painted, it's actually a Christmas card. I went to an estate sale and it was outrageously priced. I mean, they had like boring, not very collectible depression glass at crazy prices. They had like one of those ruby punch bowl sets for like $400, which they sell them at Goodwill for like 20 bucks. And I was a little bit discouraged, but there was a shoebox full of papers by the door, and I really like ephemera. And so I asked the woman how much for the box of ephemera, and she was a bit snooty and said that it was, well, that's from so-and-so's estate, darling. And I was like, okay, but how much is it again? I love it when they interject some reason why it's going to be expensive, but they still don't tell you how expensive it is. But anyway, I asked her how much it was, and she wanted $40 for this box of papers. Again, I didn't know what was in the box of papers. I just figured instead of going to the movies, I would buy a box of papers and look through them, and it would be so cool. It'd be like, I don't know, not a trip down memory lane, but similar to that, you know? Long story short, I told her that. I said, I just want to spend a couple hours going through it, and she gave it to me for 25 bucks. Didn't know what was in there. I'm leafing through, it's fox and hound type stuff, you know? And I find 2 hand-painted Christmas cards signed Frank Voss. And my brain was working relatively well that day. And I said, Frank Voss. And I Googled that name. And he is one of the most famous painters of like thoroughbred racehorses and hunt scenes and, the dogs on the hunt and everything, fox hunt type stuff. And I had another one of these that I sold. I think I sold it for $600 on Etsy to a guy who collects fox hunt stuff. And that one was an image of, I believe it was beagles on the hunt with their noses to the ground. It was cool, but I like this one better. So we had this one professionally framed behind protective glass because there's no way I'm ever going to have another Frank Voss in my home because I'll put up a comp. They go for really, really big money, which I don't have. So that was interesting. Again, didn't know it was in there, just kind of a whim. You never know what you're going to find out there. Now, what's interesting is this next one is the first thing that did this to me, or the first example of this situation. I was at an estate sale. There were no prices on anything. I picked up a tobacco tin. I bring it to checkout. The guy's like, how much is this? I said, I don't know. There aren't any prices. And he opens it and there are all these papers inside, but I don't know what they are. I thought they were like labels from tobacco tins because that's what they looked like. And he goes, well, he said, what are these papers inside? I said, I don't know, but I don't want to pay extra for them. So he said, how about $1 for the tin? I said, sure. I bring the stuff home a few hours later. I'm surprised I didn't break out in hives or faint because I believe I had 18 pieces of colonial currency from between 1758 and 1776. And so I did sell the rest of the pieces to family members for an undisclosed amount, but I'll insert a comp for a similar piece. And we decided to have this one professionally framed behind protective glass so that we could remember that moment. So if you are buying on instinct, make sure you check your stuff thoroughly because I've been doing this for, 12 years. And this is just like a little cross section of some of the things that I've discovered. And people have asked me, what are your favorite things you found? And my favorite things I found aren't even the things that I was trying or things I knew about. It was the surprise, that excitement that really, really kind of has captured my attention many years later. And so some people are like, oh, you know so much stuff and I don't know anything. Just buy stuff you like and maybe there'll be something really valuable inside, but it is certainly possible that the things you like have value anyway, even if you're not going to keep them, if you're going to resell them. So people had asked me about this, so I wanted to share this with you guys. And my GoPro was giving me some trouble with my other footage anyway. So I said, hey, you know what? Today's a perfect day to film this little clip about these sort of hidden treasures. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave a comment. Feel free. I would love for you to share my videos. The comments actually help the channel. You just click the thumbs up. It helps my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you could. I am working really hard to bring content every week and to teach something every week. And I enjoy doing it, but it would be really great if I could build the channel, and you guys are the ones who can help me do that. So please get out there, find some hidden treasures of your own, pay yourself for your time, and remember, whether it's a box of papers, tobacco tin, a Monopoly game, never stop searching. I'll see you guys next time.